On this episode, Trade Connect, the Port of LA is helping small and medium-sized businesses discover a world of opportunity in international trade. Later, kids at the Port of LA tests out the new children's exhibit at the Los Angeles Maritime Museum.
Welcome to Portfolio. I'm Andrew Tarr. There's one word that sums up international trade in Los Angeles. It's awesome.
Over $418 billion in trade in 2014 alone. That makes LA the #1 customs district in the entire country. In fact, we've been setting records for the last 7 years. Our top 10 trading partners include China, Japan, South Korea, Taiwan, Germany, Vietnam, Thailand, India, Australia, and Hong Kong. We are a gateway to the world. But while imports into the United States were $290 billion in 2014, exports were only $128 billion. That's a deficit of $162 billion. Trade Connect is all about changing that equation. Benjamin Franklin once said that to succeed,
jump as quickly at opportunities as you do at conclusions.
The world of international trade is a world of opportunity, but for 85% of small businesses in the United States, it's a jump they just don't take.
Outside of the United States, there's 93% of the world's consumers and a quickly growing middle class, especially in the Pacific Rim, that are interested in purchasing American goods and services.
Only 15% of American manufacturers are exporting, and over half of those are only exporting to Canada and Mexico.
And they feel that they don't have sufficient resources.
Only big companies export, small guys can't do it.
They're short-staffed, they're struggling to survive in the domestic market.
It's too risky, I might not get paid, they'll rip off my patent.
And they feel overwhelmed.
It's too complicated, too much red tape.
85% of U.S. manufacturers don't export.
But we are still, as I say, a paradox, a very large exporting nation, but not a nation of exporters. Just too few American firms are taking advantage of the opportunity to go into the world market.
When the ships come into the port, they're full, and when they leave, they're half empty. So we'd like to see those ships filled. But there's a side benefit to that. When those ships are filled with American-made goods, it creates local prosperity and employment.
Is there room for the little guy? Is it even possible for a small or medium-sized business to take advantage of markets beyond the United States? The answer is yes. And the first step is the Port of LA's Trade Connect program.
Trade Connect is a program of the Port of Los Angeles that aims at connecting small to medium-sized businesses to the resources they need to export and enter the global market. There's hundreds of thousands of small businesses in Southern California. So the question is, how do we reach out to them? So what we do is have a 3-hour program.
And the idea of those workshops in 3-hour segments each is to run the audience through all the steps of exporting from not being an exporter into how to develop your ability to be an exporter, into how to find new markets and get into those markets, into the trade finance aspect, into the regulatory aspect, into the cultural aspect.
We bring all these agencies together, we summarize these services, and then enable the companies to connect with these experts.
So smallness has nothing to do with your ability to export. It's whether you have a product or service that is wanted somewhere. That's what determines whether a product can be exported or you can be an exporter. Not whether you're large or small, but whether the product you're making and presumably selling to that sliver in the United States and still around and surviving, you've succeeded in the U.S. market. So why not?
Trade Connect demystifies international trade, helping small to medium-sized businesses diversify their markets. Through a series of free workshops, it answers their questions and concerns and provides expertise to help them meet the challenge of overseas trade.
Trade Connect's basic course is a 3-hour, what we call 101, which introduces those basic services to companies. There's usually 5 or 6 presenters, and they each speak for about 15 or 20 minutes. Then at the end there's a Q&A period, and then the most important is the networking period at the conclusion, in which they can go and meet the presenters in person and privately arrange for appointments, get their business card, and ask the questions that they need answers to.
Trade Connect covers all the bases: locating markets, finding finance, doing documentation, arranging logistics, and preparing staff for doing business overseas.
You'd go to the 101 and get a kind of a broad cross-section of the services. Then you need to go to the next step to have more of a focused program on your particular product.
Trade Connect offers the tools and the expertise to make your expansion into international trade successful.
The basic Trade Connect program offers an introduction to exporting. The intermediate program drills down and looks at many common issues: finance and insurance, protection of intellectual property, how to minimize risk, and understanding cultural and business customs around the world. Trade Connect also offers more specialized courses to meet specific needs, from marine tech, food, agriculture, and green exports, to fashion and apparel.
The agencies that have cooperated in Trade Connect are the U.S. Department of Commerce, the U.S. Small Business Administration, the U.S. Export-Import Bank, the Custom Brokers and Freight Forwarders Association, and also the LA County Bar Association, which can provide expertise in the legal systems and documents of a particular country.
You know, one of the benefits of the Trade Connect program and its relationship with the Los Angeles County Bar is the specific expertise of the members of the International Law section. And for example, it can be based on a specific product. The members of the International Law section have specific expertise related to countries. They may have, for example, studied over in China, may be fluent in the Mandarin language, may have practiced law over in China or done business in China. Again, that's a resource that the Trade Connect program can tap into.
The Hong Kong Trade Development Council here in Los Angeles are one of our greatest resources.
Actually, our office, connecting with our head office, we provide a wide range of services that can help the local U.S. companies to connect with the Hong Kong business communities, especially when they want to export to Asia and China market. We provide a wide variety of trade platforms like trade shows, which are world-class, and they can meet their buyers over in these trade platforms and trade shows. We also offer business matching services so that they can actually send in their inquiries, what they are looking for, and we will search for them the potential buyers or sourcing the manufacturers in Hong Kong and China. Also, we do bring along trade missions between Hong Kong and U.S.
We have different courses that are focused on different products and different services. For example, our e-commerce program is a 3-hour program exclusively devoted to international e-commerce and how to get set up.
Now, the really good stuff: how do I promote my website? How do I promote my business to get customers, to reach a new audience? I think that's really the meat of this presentation. And the presentation really takes all of the students from the very, very basic to the advanced steps of reaching markets through e-commerce. Whether I'm a manufacturer that makes a commodity, it's a foodstuff, or I make a little widget in a factory in California, the internet is affecting how we do business, and it's affecting how consumers anywhere in the world collect information. So whether or not you find the end buyer from the internet, your end buyer will be looking at your website to determine credibility, to see the kind of support you have, to see if it's exposed. Your internet presence makes a big difference, whether you're selling locally or globally, and you have to be aware that that's how impression and information is being disseminated. And one of the goals I have today, if I'm effective, is how do I demystify this information? E-commerce, which we traditionally think of, is a U.S. company having a website presence and selling directly to consumers. So if we take that one step further internationally, it would be a U.S. company having a website selling directly to international buyers that are direct consumers. However, internet export marketing is all of the facets of using the internet and digital marketing to reach international buyers, whether or not you sell directly to a consumer. It doesn't have to be that way. What it means is you could use digital marketing tools, you could use the internet to identify customers or distributors or importers, or to assist your distributors or distribution internationally to sell more. So it doesn't mean that a small company puts up a website and will start selling to hundreds or thousands of consumers directly in a specific market. It could be, but that's a subset of the overall field of internet export marketing.
Trade Connect works, and there are businesses that are taking advantage of the opportunities that the world offers and translating their success here in the United States to nations around the world.
Laguna Candles, creator of luxury scented candles, recognized that expanding internationally wouldn't just improve the bottom line, but it would also help strengthen their brand back home.
I founded the company in 2003. Originally, when I started the company, I just wanted to sell candles online, but I got so few orders. So what I had to do was put on my saleswoman's hat and go out to various hotels. And we're in hotels such as the Four Seasons, St. Regis, the Wynn.
You know, we're a small company. However, our motivation to go international was primarily to obviously increase our sales, but we also wanted to build a stronger brand. We felt that because we have so much competition in the candle market here in the United States, we felt that if we could go outside of this country, build our brand, make it stronger in an international market, therefore it's going to give us greater leverage, it's going to give us more financial willpower to come back here and be a major player in the market here in the States.
We were so excited to get this opportunity. You know, 20 fragrances, whereas you could have easily approached them with maybe 10.
Our agreement is exclusive for 3 years. However, I was speaking with someone and they said, well, did you charge them a fee for that exclusivity? And I go, a fee? I didn't even know that you could do that. So I probably missed out on what, maybe $25,000, $30,000, $50,000, you know, that I could have charged up front for that exclusivity.
I encourage you to just ask questions. If you find that there's something that's just not feeling right, 2 or 3 weeks go by and all of a sudden you haven't spoken to the distributor and you're thinking, what's going on? Oh, they were on holiday. So it's something as small as being aware of their calendar. You know, I know that sounds small, but little things like that, I think just really staying on top of that would help with the progress of it.
These opportunities can look big, real big, but again, because you have to have so many resources to pull from, I think you have to take it a bite at a time.
3113 Studio is a concept design firm working with theme parks and other entertainment venues. Some of today's greatest design opportunities, however, are overseas. Though 3113 is an established firm, finding those opportunities and making contact with the right people requires special expertise.
Our main clients tend to be theme parks, but we also work with developers for restaurants, for malls, for anything where you want a really cool idea, you have a cool idea in your head, and you're trying to figure out how to make it look nice. And then we come in, we help you, we understand what you're looking for, help give you some idea of what it should look like, and then you take it to the architect or the building engineer to build it. But we're a service-based company, we don't sell products. We're highly specialized, so the kind of people we're looking at are Disney, Universal, Paramount. So you kind of get a feeling of who you want to go for and then figure it out. Right now, the booming places in theme park development are the Middle East and in China, and actually in Russia as well. So we were looking for companies that were active in those spaces and just knocking on the door and saying, hey, we'd like to talk to you. So Commerce has local offices around the country that have people who are specialized in certain industries. So I got paired up with Terry Batch over at the West LA office, and her specialty at the time was construction. So I told her, hey, I'm going to the Middle East. I need a list of architects and developers. Because for us, the thing is, we come in, the developers need us because they don't know what they're doing sometimes, or they do know, but developers tend to understand how to build. They don't understand how to shape the building. And the architects come to us because they can make really beautiful buildings, but sometimes we help them add that flair to it. So knowing that that's where we have to go, I told Terry, this is what I need. I'm going to the UAE and to Qatar. Give me a list, I'll buy it. And so I bought a list, and the people I met with were like managing partners of major architecture and construction firms and developers, which blew my mind because I tried on my own for a while. I mean, Google helps, but for me, Commerce lists were amazing. LA Ports, obviously, were great. CITD, SBDC, Commerce, Maurice Kogan, obviously, he's like my hero, and the research report. So it's hard, but conceptually it's not that hard. Once you understand that there's all these resources there to back you up, then you're like, oh great, I have all these tools at my disposal. Let me just go make first contact, and I'll just call these government guys and say, hey, I don't know what I'm doing. So all these programs that the government provides are there to help enable you to do what you want to do. They won't, it would be a mistake to say, oh, let them plan it for me, because they're not going to do that. They're not equipped to it. I don't think it's their responsibility to. I think the best way to use these resources is to understand that they are just resources. They're there to help you get over that hump, help you kind of figure out a way to solving whatever problem's in front of you. The only thing I really would do differently is just start sooner. We just didn't know it was there. And there's a lot out there. What lessons would I like to share with the audience who maybe consider international trade? You heard it, just jump in.
It's win-win if you come to Trade Connect because it's 3 hours and you'll be given a tremendous amount of information. We don't charge anything, so there's no risk involved. And you'll meet professionals who are there to help you. And I think that opening up the world to your business is a very good thing because although the economy is improving right now, who knows when we might be experiencing our next recession? And how better to protect your business than to diversify internationally?
If you're ready to explore the world of international trade, visit the Port of LA's Trade Connect website at latradeconnect.org.
In our latest installment of Kids at the Port of LA, we take a return trip to the Maritime Museum to check out a new children's exhibit that asks, what's going on in the harbor today?
This brand new interactive exhibit gives kids a chance to discover what the nation's busiest container port is all about. What's going on in the harbor today is all about hands-on with toys, games, and costumes that offer a peek into the real magic behind the Port of Los Angeles.
We were at the dress-up and we played on the boat. We pretended that we were people who worked cranes, and then we were I was matching up the container ships and what they hold. I pressed the family in the cruise ship and then the cars.
What do you do here at the museum?
I'm the director of the museum. So I'm in charge of seeing that all our exhibits are ready to go and thinking of new exhibits for people to enjoy, and basically a little bit of everything in the museum.
Do you need to go to college to work here?
It depends on the job that you're doing. We do have some people who work here who are in college right now and they are working on their degree. And other people have already been to college and studied a lot of different things and bring all that knowledge to the museum.
It is kid approved.
The Los Angeles Maritime Museum is located in the historic Municipal Ferry Terminal on the LA waterfront. For more information, check out lamaritimemuseum.org.
We'll see you next time. I'm Andrew Tarr for Portfolio.